Howdy, everyone, and welcome to Nicole Sauce's Thought of the Walk. You'll see I'm not walking today. I did walk today. I was also up about half the night, and I recorded this morning outside a little thing for TikTok, and then I didn't use it. And I thought, I usually do a Thought of the Walk on Thursdays, but everything's a little weird schedule today. And I wanted to share with you what happened last night. So I was fast asleep. It was about 2:30, 2:45, and I hear a male voice in my house, which is not a usual thing at night, say, "Hey, Nicole." And I was instantly awake. I said, "What?" "I need your help." I said, "What's wrong?" "One of the sheep is sick." And I said, "Okay." And then it was tactical. He's able to get into my house if there's an emergency. That's what's up, because my phone is off at night, so I won't hear you if you call me. And he went back out to deal with stuff. I got up, and rather than run straight outside, I thought, the most likely thing to happen to new sheep on new pasture is a bloat problem. And the fact that he's asking for help means nobody's dead, because he could deal with that alone. So what do I need? I need the injector thingy, plunger. I don't know what it's called. It's like a big flushing plunger. Whoever's going to see this later screaming the word at this right now. I need baking soda and I need water mixed together. And I'm about to go walk through a bunch of poison ivy, so I need to put my boots on. Do I care about pajamas? Do not care about pajamas. So I got up, walked straight out my mudroom door. All the sheep supplies are on a shelf there. Grabbed it. There's an outdoor sink. Made my mixture, got my little plunger thing, walked out to the sheep pasture. Didn't know where they were exactly. I was like, "Where are they?" He's like, "They're over here." All of the sheep are up. They're all walking. I'm like, "Which one is it?" He said, "One of them's kind of stumbling around." 2:45 in the morning, we know a sheep is stumbling around. And I watched and I saw it, and I don't know this sheep's name. I call him Floki 2 because he looks like Floki, but he is not Floki. So he's Floki 2. He has a black dot on his ear. I probably should look up I can look at his number, but I've started calling him Floki. We have Floki and Floki 2. That's what I've been calling him. And I had seen him. So he had a little bit of soft stool this weekend, and I had seen him looking skinnier than I wanted him to. And yesterday, the sheep decided it was time to move themselves rather than move on our schedule. And we've been gradually giving them more and more pasture after having them on dry hay mostly for a week. So I didn't want to shock their systems. And they've just moved to my area, so their gut biome is not used to it here yet. So we're giving them a month to really acclimate. And then the boys are moving next door. The girls are staying here. We have 2 rotation. Anyway, Floki 2 was stumbling. Floki 2 doesn't like me to touch him. So I'm like, well, we got to catch him. How are we going to catch him? And all the other sheep are blah, 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 blah. Right. They're doing sheep things. Their sheep are not super stoked about being visited in the middle of the night. Just they find that alarming, just for the record. So I said, well, let's get something around his neck, like a collar. And so Tactical walked off, and he got a strap for that. And he got some fresh hay, some fresh Timothy hay, put that out. All the sheep came over super excited. They love hay. They start eating, including stumbling Floki 2. And Tactical looped his neck. And then once it was looped, he started a little bit. Everybody else ran away. Not panicked ran, but sort of packed. And then we grabbed him and put him on his side, at which point he completely calmed down. And his back was slightly downhill, so we turned him 90 degrees. So his feet were like on the downhill side. He's on this side. And I started massaging his belly. And then I took my plunger and I sprayed the mix of baking soda and water into his mouth, forcing him to swallow it. Started massaging him, and he burped. So I was burping a sheep. And then when he burped, I was like, oh, good, he burped. And this one had been really skinny, and he was actually quite round, which means there's air up in there. And, we just kept trying to burp him and spent about a half hour massaging his belly, moved him up to a more flat area, got a dog collar on him, put a leash on the dog collar so that we could control him. And a couple of times he tried to get up and run away, and that didn't work very well for him because he wasn't feeling very well. And he was eating the dry Timothy hay too. Half an hour later, I injected more of the baking soda solution down his, making him swallow it. More burping happened. And then I gave him a vitamin mix that we have for young lambs when they get like milk. I think it's called milk fever, because I figured it can't hurt to add vitamins. Um, and then I said, Tactical's like, what should we do? And I said, well, we can't let him walk around stumbly, because if he falls on the electric fence and can't get up, like that's bad. Shorts out the fence, the sheep get out, and I can't imagine it's too comfortable to just get zapped until you short out the fence. So where can we quarantine him? And we talked, and there was a place we could move him, but we were going to have to move the sheep like way across the property. So Tactical was like, well, I'm not going to sleep anyway, so I can stay out here. I said, well, go get a camping chair and some water because it's hot and all of that. And we'll just take shifts or whatever and hold his leash. Because if you hold his leash, he can't go very far. And then he doesn't get in trouble. And he was really just, at this point, we had him standing again, and I was able to massage him, while standing up, and he was still burping from time to time. And so I held him. Tactical went and got a camping chair and water and a cup of coffee. And by the time we got all that set up, it was about 4 a.m. and he like settled in to his spot. I went back into the house to sleep. After that experience, I did not sleep. I did get a little bit of a snooze after 5:30. At about 6:30, I checked in with Tactical again. I said, how's Floki too? And he said, well, he's walking around like normal now. So this was, because we lost a sheep a couple weeks ago, this was like very confidence building for me, and probably for Tactical too, because if a second sheep had died, we would have taken it pretty personally. And actually Nick Ferguson's here, so we're looking to see if there are any plants out there that might be triggering this, because they're not eating anything like that different from pasture to pasture. So I can't tell if it's just like way too much at once. It's been really dry here, so it's not like the pasture is super rich, but they are eating a lot of leaves and vines and things. So we're going to go through and see if there's anything that they might be getting 1 or 2 of that's something that would trigger this fermentation thing, or if it's just normal gut biome. I do know that particular one, I've been watching him because I'm worried that he's a little under the weather anyway. But we made it through. And that's something that's important. Like if you keep trying as you're taking care of animals, because we care about the animals, right? If you keep learning and trying, you do well. Now, when I knew some stuff about bloat before, but I have read a lot about bloat since we lost that first one. And one of the things that the instructions say is to take a certain number of grams of baking soda to water and, give them that dose, and then, whatever. I can guarantee ya. Probably shouldn't say it that way. It's not very nice. Anyway, I can guarantee you I did not measure a thing when I did it. I took baking soda and went into a mason jar, water. That's what I did. And it worked. Because it's not like you're going to overdose a sheep on baking soda. So my thought was a little bit heavier concentration is better. I want it to get in there and calm the stomach down. You're trying to get the gases to calm down. And then you're massaging out the air that's in there, right? So that was cool. Now, how did we know at 2:45 in the morning that somebody went down? And this is cool. So Tactical was asleep, and his dog lost it. She was like, there is something big and bad and awful out there. This is the same dog. If you were listening yesterday to my live stream with John Willis, I was like, Tactical, you gotta come get your dog because he's sitting outside my bedroom door barking. We still don't know how she got in my house. I think she came through the cat door. She lost it, and he, did what anybody does in the middle of the night when this happens. He grabbed whatever he needed to grab for personal defense and walked outside, and he said he saw a line of sheep walking by where they shouldn't be. And he calmly corralled them back was like, "Why is the fence shorted?" And Floki 2 had fallen over on the fence. That is what happened. He stumbled and fell. And Floki 2 was up again, by the way, um, at that point, and was stumbly. So it was clear you had a drunk looking sheep, basically. And he was like, "Oh, I think I know what this is." And then he came and got me. So if his dog Sonny had not been the kind of dog that's aware of what's going on outside, we would have not known and that sheep would have died. So she gets extra thank yous and kudos. But also the last time we had a problem with the sheep, guess who told us? Sonny. So this is important for us because anytime she loses it, now we know she's telling us something's not right outside. And she has cattle dog in her. So I think she's naturally inclined to this. And now we're encouraging this behavior because we're really happy today. We've kept an eye on everybody. Everybody else looks fine. It's been an intense heat wave here, so I'm making the sheep gallon jugs of milk jugs with water frozen to cuddle up to in the afternoon, and just trying to because they're just not used to this weather either, right? So we're trying to kind of get them through this time, and then we're going to be separating to different pasture, but we're also really keeping an eye on bloat. The other thing we've learned is bloat does not happen if the sun is up. Important to know that. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it can happen anytime, but when it happens here is dark. So that success happened. I'm tired today, and I look like this because I'm tired today and put no effort in, but I don't care. What I care about is we made it through this incident, and we're 1 week away from they've been here 4 weeks, which is about how long everybody tells me it takes for the gut biome to really acclimate to an area. So we're close, like every week is stronger and closer. And just being attentive and taking care of them, super helpful. Now, I know a lot of people just like the shock method, but even people who use the shock method, like Gray Judy, will acclimate animals to his pasture over about a month period of time. And that's something to just really think about if you're going to get ruminants, because you can have a dead cow. I know Jack Spirko said it, or one of his early projects, they had a cow die. Like imagine having to deal with that. And learning the basic first aid of any livestock you have is important. And if you can do that by going to somebody's homestead first, that's great. I mean, like I wished, because I thought I had ruminants down pretty well because I do goats, but I didn't have any of the digestive issues that we've been having with sheep. So I do wish I had spent some more time in advance of this learning how to deal with bloat specifically. Like I still don't know how to put a plastic tube down their throat to release pressure, but that's something I intend to take care of in the next 4 weeks. I'm going to find somebody who can at least show me, and I'm going to have the supplies for it. And if I have to do it, I'll do it. And I'm hoping that once we get past this month period of time, we'll be doing much better. I'm also reassessing this week the nutrient, the minerals we're giving them access to, and making sure that's all dialed in right. But I'm just really happy to report that we had bloat and Floki 2, whose name I'm going to go look up on a piece of paper now. Floki 2. If Floki 2 doesn't have a name, by the way, Floki 2 is getting a name. Is doing well. Like he's up and around. We may actually put dog collars on them all too, because it's way easier to catch them when they have a dog collar and they're like spooky. But anyway, wanted to share that with y'all today. And if you've been enjoying the Thoughts of the Walk, do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button to be notified. I am now starting to do a Garden 30 live stream. I may not do it every time I do Garden 30 because sometimes I like to just sit in silence with my plants. But I think it went pretty well yesterday. I'm still learning how to use my phone for live streaming. I may break out one of my really super old tablets and see if those work better, because I can't see your comments and I'm certainly not bringing my computer out to the garden. So just on the phone, I guess yesterday y'all were commenting and I couldn't see them even though I was clicking on the comment thing. And I don't know if that was a phone app glitch or not, because earlier on I could and then later on I couldn't. But I usually am in the garden between 4:30 and 6 p.m. Sometime during that time, I'll start streaming my Garden 30s whenever I'm doing them and talk to you about what's happened in my day. And you can ask me what I think about things. Anyway, we'll be back on Tuesday with another Thought of the Walk. Make it a great week.